You see, it's one thing to affirm something which happened in history. But how does this living Christ affect the history of your life? Your own life. Does believing in the resurrection make a difference in the way you live, the way you talk, the way you walk, the way you share? Does the resurrection of Christ make a difference? I want you to look how this story begins. Luke tells us about two disciples who were traveling from Jerusalem to Emmaus. This is a little village about 7 miles from Jerusalem. These disciples had heard the rumor that Jesus' body was no longer in the tomb. But they could not believe that he had risen from the dead. They just thought it was simply the hysteria of a few women. And these two disciples, stay with me, we're going somewhere, was trying to get out and away from Jerusalem. They were trying to get rid of or get away from the holy city, the place of religious power. Because it was there that their hearts were broken. Many times our hearts are broken in the church. Many times we have expectations of our brother or our sister, and things happen that causes us to have a broken heart. These folks were trying to get away from having a broken heart. What happened there in Jerusalem. All of us at some time or another, if we be honest, have tried to escape the place of pain or disappointment in some way or another. Some folks try to escape pain by using drugs. Some try to escape pain by trying all kinds of different things and what all kinds of, they might say, well, I'll just read several books and that'll help me. We have a way of trying to deal with pain. Jerusalem was the place where their dream died. Because they were looking for someone to deliver them from the Romans' rule. They wanted something to happen instantly for them. I'll get back to that in a minute. They had given themselves to Jesus. You don't mind me taking my time for a moment, do you? He was the leader of their lives. They believed in him. And everything, suddenly everything was dead. I worked at Laguna Home many years ago. The old man was there, and he would always say to me, "Are you living?" And I would say, "Oh, yes." And he would say, "You are just existing." All of us know how to exist in life and not live. Some of us do it all the time. We keep on keeping on. But if you discover life has a way life has been a drain, I should say, and squeezed us out. Squeezed out of us, I should say, because our dream had died. Church, this is what happened. This is what happened to these two who was on their road to Emmaus. They were trying to get away from Jerusalem because life had somewhat drained them of their hope, of their dream. Their dream was dead to them. And then the scripture said, a stranger, which was Jesus, joined them. Luke says it was Jesus. They did not know him. And church, when I read that, I had to say to myself, we cannot allow disappointment, discouragement, depression to blot out everything else that is real in life. Sometimes when we're going through tough times in life, we can't see that Jesus is there all the time. Because we allow what we're going through to blot out the fact that he's there. That he's there. It's kind of like one year we were going to, choir used to go up to Coos Bay, Oregon, North Bend, Oregon. We take the choir over every year in September over Labor Day. We ride on the bus. As we ride on the bus, the young lady was on the bus, and she had kind of fallen asleep, and she woke up and she started saying, my glasses, where are my glasses? And we said, your glasses on your face. But whatever was going on in her mind, she had felt that she had lost her glasses, and that's what happens sometimes. Because of whatever we're going through, sometimes we believe that Jesus is not there, when he's always there with us. We can't allow disappointment, distress, pressure to blot out everything else that's real. Can't allow it. In verse 17, it starts with an experience of the heart. I observe in this passage 4 conditions of the heart of these disciples. First, they had a broken heart. I like how the message puts it. The message says, he asked, what's this you're discussing so intently as you walk along? They stood there long-faced it, that they had lost their best friend. I thought the message was verse 17. Their heart was broken. And they didn't understand what he was doing. What do you say to a person that's filled with grief, frustration, and sometimes anger? Have you ever met a person that was filled with grief? I have many people. One of my good friends passed away. Even when I talk to his wife today, she cries. Grief. Talk with people who have lost their jobs, who have worked for 25 years and 30 years on the same job, and all of a sudden, they don't have a job anymore. Disappointment.